So, growing up in Dubai, what early experiences actually making or shaping your passion towards the humanity or the community well-being and inclusive environment which you are trying to create?
Growing up in Dubai, I think I had to witness a lot of change. I saw here that it says, if you can dream it, you can do it. And His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, this is his vision. You have to first dream it and then design it and then achieve it. I think that's an advantage of being here because we got to see that. We got to see the dream turn into a reality, and sort of we had to embrace that. When I first saw, a patient who was thriving, he was in his early 40s, but he was struggling with diabetes and he had to have an amputation of his leg. And I thought, oh my God, how did he reach there? Like, the system should have prevented this from happening. And that was the first moment where I started looking deeper, not just from the physical, and sort of explored the emotional element, the social element, the environmental elements, all the factors that help functional health be a priority.
Okay, so let's talk more about Chikara Global.
Okay.
So you connected more than 75 change makers over 75 countries, I would say. What did you learn about the power of cross-cultural collaboration?
I think true inclusive well-being means being able to see what the emotional needs are, how to include people with wherever they are, whatever it is they're going through, and how to make sure that we have their whole self at work.
At Expo 2020, you work closely with youth and innovators. What's one lesson the next generation has taught you about leadership?
Agility, flexibility, and then also we did so many things on the metaverse.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Her Talks, a safe space we have created for the females to come and share their incredible stories. I'm your host Priyanka Sengar, and on the occasion of Emirati Women's Day, we have someone incredible today with us. She is an entrepreneur, she is a physician, she is working as a government leader as well as an executive and a social entrepreneur. So let's all welcome Dr. Mariam Ketait. Hello, Dr. Mariam. How are you?
Hello, thank you, Priyanka, for this introduction. And I'm happy to be here and the Emirati Day. I think we need to find as many of those moments to celebrate our successes.
Absolutely. So, as I've mentioned, you are wearing multiple hats. And if I'll see, or if you look back today, what's a common thread which is actually joining everything together and which is making your journey more successful?
Yes. I'm not currently wearing all those hats, but I had to go through a lot of them. And I think humanity would probably be that thread from medicine, looking at the human behavior, human body, how to sort of make the system work for people rather than, patients going through systems that can maybe stop them from achieving health and well-being. And it started with that. And then from there, it moved to innovation and then digital transformation and public policy. And now in aerospace, I joined to help balance, the disparities when it comes to women representation, but more so to make sure that the platform is level. So, bringing systems to make sure humans thrive.
So, growing up in Dubai, what early experiences actually making or shaping your passion towards the humanity or the community well-being and inclusive environment which you are trying to create?
Yes. Growing up in Dubai, I think I had to witness a lot of change. I saw here that it says, if you can dream it, you can do it. And His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, this is his vision. You have to first dream it and then design it and then achieve it. And so I think that's an advantage of being here because we got to see that. We got to see the dream turn into a reality, and sort of we had to embrace that state of mind. And I think that's what shaped my journey too.
That's lovely to know. Tell us more about yourself, about your life, about your journey so far.
So my career, I started as a medical profession. I started in family medicine. Family medicine is about looking at the patient holistically, so the biology, the psychology, the social element too. And then as I started working with patients and sort of diving deeper into the healthcare system, I realized that there's much more that we can do to achieve well-being. So it's a mindset. It's also your environment, the architecture, the infrastructure. It's the systems that sort of help you step into well-being. And so people sometimes tell me, oh, but don't you miss healthcare? I'm like, no, I still link everything I do to that. Because ultimately you want people to feel well, whether it is they're on a plane or in their home or going to work or even just waking up in the morning. What can we bring in to bring that ease into people's lives? So from there I moved into public policy, where I was working with the well-being strategy in the UAE, and that was a great opportunity. And right now, I think after COVID, people have experienced a lot of disconnection.
Right.
And that made me create Chikara. Chikara means power in Japanese, and it's about bringing women together, connecting the dots, making sure women have a platform to thrive together, even if it's just a talking circle or, a partnership opportunity or an investor connection. So whatever that looks like, we bring them together.
Okay. Was there any experience which happened which really pushed you to think that now we need to make the system more human?
Yes, for sure. So when I started, of course, in healthcare, there was a lot of those little moments. One that I spoke about previously a lot, which was in my internship. When I first saw, a patient who was thriving, he was in his early 40s, but he was struggling with diabetes, and he had to have an amputation of his leg. And I thought, oh my God, how did he reach there? Like, the system should have prevented this from happening. So it's by, making sure that he has access to information, but also the support that he needs in order for him to, make sure his body is thriving.
Right.
And that was the first moment where I started looking deeper, not just from the physical, and sort of explored the emotional element, the social element, the environmental element, all the factors that help functional health be a priority. And then again in COVID, I saw that our work systems were unable to sustain women in let's say, rural areas, or women who were unable to attend a lot of events and sell their products and thrive. And this is on a global scale. In the UAE, there were a lot of initiatives to help bring that,
Right.
bridge that gap. But that's why I created Chikara Global, and it was about connecting all those NGOs from around the world to help them thrive.
Okay, so let's talk more about Chikara Global.
Okay.
So you connected more than 75 change makers over 75 countries, I would say.
Yes.
What did you learn about the power of cross-cultural collaboration?
I think that was one of the most amazing experiences and most rewarding experiences, because every tribe, every nation, every group of women, when they come together, they bring in their stories, the heritage, the wisdom, and so just listening to each other created like this abundance and wealth of opportunities. But more importantly, I think it taught me that you have to work with people's needs, right? So and where you have to meet them where they are. So maybe in the NGO in Africa, they just needed a nudge to, for example, create a website and learn how to navigate that, whereas the entrepreneur in China, for example, needed the design element. Or so you have to work with people based on their requirements, not on how you want to push that vision. And it's all about listening, empathy, connection, and really trusting that everyone has a strength that they bring to the table, and how can we make them shine? And with that, we all shine together.
Yeah, this is wonderful. So how do you define inclusive well-being, and why it is critical in today's leadership?
Right. I think well-being right now in the digital age, needs to be the focus of everyone, because we're more and more being reliant on AI, on technology. And as I mentioned, there's this disconnect that can happen And so inclusive well-being means that you also need to include all the different parts of you.
Right.
So your work and your personal life and your social life, you somehow need to be able to manage all of that in a balanced way. And in the workplace, whether you're an HR executive or you're a team lead, how can you make sure that your team members are thriving and include all those different elements and the challenges that they're going in? The more human we are, the more we can sort of relate to each other and create opportunities to heal together, because it's so easy to say, oh, this is your problem, now
Right.
just you're part of the problem, and just disconnect from it and continue to achieve your goals. You can do that, but it's not really a sustainable model. I think true inclusive well-being means being able to see what the emotional needs are, how to include people with wherever they are, whatever it is they're going through, and how to make sure that we have their whole self at work.
Nice. Okay, so you have worked at the intersection of culture, policy, and psychology.
Hmm.
What's one leadership behavior you believe should be non-negotiable?
Empathy, yes. And with that, I'm aware also that there's some empathy fatigue that can happen. And so empathy with healthy boundaries, making sure that, you can connect to each other authentically with integrity and honesty and trust. But at the same time, you also have the ability to have that healthy boundary and say, no, this is where I draw the line, and this is my personal space. And so having that awareness on how to manage that is important.
Okay. I have a few questions. They are the quick rapid fire questions. Okay. So whatever first comes to your mind, answer that. Okay. Morning ritual you can't skip.
Gratitude.
Nice.
Yes.
Coffee, tea, or meditation?
Matcha.
Okay. I think we are living in an era of matcha now.
But matcha is meditation too. Like if making it, I mean, it comes from meditation and Zen, and so it brings a bit of everything: the caffeine, it brings the tea ceremony, and it brings meditation. So all of the above.
Nice. I will definitely love to. I tried once, but
Oh, you should.
Yes. Okay. One word your team would use to describe you.
Can you say that again?
One word your team would use to describe you.
I think I feel like I always have those pink, rose tinted goggles, so optimistic.
Okay.
Yes, but for me, like it became natural. But I think sometimes it's important to also modify that. Not be too optimistic. So that's something that I'm also working on.
That's true.
Yes.
The UAE in one sentence.
The UAE. One sentence or word?
One sentence.
Okay. Bringing people together.
Nice.
Yes.
I would say a land of opportunities as well.
Yes.
Right?
Possibilities.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's get back to our questions. So at Expo 2020, you worked closely with youth and innovators.
Yes.
What's one lesson the next generation has taught you about leadership?
Agility, flexibility, and then also there was we did so many things on the metaverse that were like, let's say, conservative medicine might not have looked at it that way. So, for example, we worked with women's health and reproductive health on the metaverse, and we saw that there's a lot of opportunities there actually for people to show up and talk about their problems and find solutions, because it reduces the taboo, because on the metaverse you're just this character.
Right.
And so the youth are a constant reminder of innovation and agility. Yeah,
That's true. Okay, so how do you balance innovation with empathy when leading transformation in large organizations?
It's a balance because innovation sometimes can be too fast, and when you go too fast, you can somehow disconnect from people. And so it has to be a priority to make connecting with people through empathy, through kindness, through dialogue. That has to be put as a priority and a constant reminder. Because as I mentioned earlier, you can have those goals and achieve them fast, but you don't want to lose people in the process.
That is true. So, what kind of measures you generally take to bring the people together in your organization?
We tend to create check-ins. So as you know, I work with a global team, and so we don't have the opportunity to meet in person as much as we'd like to, and so it's important to have those check-ins, coffee, virtual settings, and just really talk to each other and check in really about how people are feeling. Make sure that they're not just your colleagues; they're people that you're sharing the energy, the space, the time with, and looking at them as that, as gifts that you're spending time with and co-creating with in this moment, And I think building those relationships can be a very rewarding experience. For your mental well-being and for your emotional well-being, and as you grow as a human. Yeah,
that's wonderful. Okay, so for women aspiring to leadership roles, what's one mindset shift they must embrace early on?
Don't stop. Whatever it is that you desire, create it. Even if it seems impossible. And it will seem impossible. Just continue to hold that vision, and notice when it shows up in different ways. It doesn't have to show up in exactly the same way that you think it's going to show up, but celebrate all those little ways it shows up. And hold that vision and continue to go towards it. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Know when to ask for help. I mean, also don't overshare, because you need to hold that vision strongly and keep it safe. And at the same time, as you start to progress, find your allies and your network, like, the networks that you have here and the network we created with Chikara, and so many amazing networks for women and leaders around the world. So try to, find your tribe and grow with them.
Nice. Yeah. So, Dr. Mariam, I want to know from your end, how do you feel with the transition from a physician to the current corporate executive, the role which you're holding?
Yes. I think as a physician, interestingly, I had more autonomy. I think, because it's really, you and the patient, and you're working together towards their goals. You have all the tools that you can use. In the corporate world, you're much more limited. But at the same time, that's where you leverage on each other, and it's like more of a team activity. So when you do achieve success, it becomes a bigger thing, and it creates better impact, or a bigger impact on humanity.
Okay. If you could leave our audience with one message or a piece of advice about leading with both heart and strategy, what it would be?
Use your voice. Listen to your voice first. Make sure that what you are saying and thinking and doing are aligned.
Right.
Having that integrity and authenticity is what's going to set you apart.
I think that's a wonderful advice.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.